Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 BMW 330i with the M Sport package. Huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. This 330i is finished off in Brooklyn Gray Metallic. MSRP is just over $56,000. Now this is powered by the 2-liter twin power turbo 4-cylinder paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. And it pumps out 255 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels, propelling this 3,700-pound sedan from 0 to 60 in just under 5 seconds. It has a top speed of 156 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 15.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 25 miles per gallon in the city, 34 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 112.2 inches. Its overall length is 185.7. It has a width of 71.9 and a height of 57 inches. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this 330i, you'll notice right off the bat with the M Sport package, it provides it with all the gloss black in the lower section. I believe that this is missing a few other packages because the grille is not gloss black either. But we have the brushed aluminum for that kidney grille, forward-facing camera. There's also active grille shutters just behind that to provide additional cooling. And of course, this has a set of LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with a very nice sleek housing to them. Matches nicely with the outside of that kidney grille. There's sensors in the lower section along with a lot more cutouts and even some inlets on the far edges to provide better airflow. Those trim accents are also finished off in gloss black to give it a really nice contrast. And then there's a few lines that come down the hood to finish it up. Now, as we work our way to the side, even though this has the M Sport package, it is missing the colors for the calipers, which is interesting to see. But we have the double spoke design for those wheels with the two-tone finish, power folding side mirrors with the two-tone design, as well as a camera and the turn signal. This has a sunroof up top, all the window trim is blacked out, and then there's some nice lines that run down the lower section there, a few smoother lines just above the height of the door handles. And then in back, this has a very small body-colored trunk-mounted spoiler. There's the backup camera with the LED taillights, along with all the sensors in the lower section. There's even more gloss black, as well as the dual exhaust, which we can start up. So just triple tap on the lock button, and it will bring this to life. Not the loudest, of course, but then you can triple tap on that button again, and it will shut off. You can also use the button on the key fob or up underneath to open up the trunk. And being the smallest sedan from BMW with the 3 Series here, there's still an adequate amount of space. Now there's no storage underneath the floor. However, there is a bin over on the driver's side as well as on the passenger side there. And you can also fold down the back seats. So pull on those tabs on both sides, and that provides you with a lot more interior space, just depending on the items that you have. And then it's a very light trunk lid, so that is easy to close. Now, as we work our way to the interior, this Brooklyn Gray is paired with the Tacora red leather. And as you heard, I was able to unlock the vehicle from the back doors as well. We have a very nice two-tone design with all the brushed aluminum. There's interior ambient lighting, storage in the lower section as well. And then we have more of that red leather, which is a great contrast again. At 5'10", I have plenty of space. Now there's no storage pockets behind both front seats. Air vents are in the middle, along with some climate adjustments and then some auxiliaries in the lower section. And I have about a ½ inch or so above my head. Well, it's actually pretty roomy for being on the smaller end for the sedan. So if you're not looking for a big vehicle, it's still practical for adults to be in the back. Now you also have the armrest along with 2 cup holders, and you can even fold down this middle seat individually. So if you need a little bit more space into the back, you can easily do that. And then we have a lot of visibility overall. So the windows are quite large. And then up front, door panel is just like the rear. However, there's all the memory seating controls, side mirror adjustments, trunk release, more storage space. And then we have the beautiful front seats. A little bit more lateral support to them. All of the controls for adjusting them, as well as the manual adjustment for that leg support. And it's a low vehicle, of course. And now we're greeted with the solid black leather M steering wheel. It is heated. There's brushed aluminum accents. They even make their way to the paddle shifters. Cruise control is on the left side. Right side, you have volume tuning, as well as Bluetooth and voice commands. Well, let's fire this back up. And looking at the digital gauge cluster, for the current setup, miles per hour is on the left side, tach is on the right side. In the lower section, there is some fixed information like your fuel, time, and then the engine temperature and outside temperature. Now, if I push on the middle button on the right side of the steering wheel and use the scrolling dial, we can actually go through quite a lot of content that you can view front and center. So it's nice that you have these adjustments. Now you can also go over to layout and view this information in a little bit different of a design. So just depending on how you would like to see that, you can go through that. And the last one is for the head-up display. So currently it's on the standard view with just miles per hour and the speed limit sign. Directional will add the compass, sport view adds the RPM, and then reduced view is the same as standard. So it's nice that you have a few things to go through. On the left side, there's all the headlight adjustments, a dimmer switch, one air vent. And then as we work our way to the infotainment system now, we can go to these 4 squares on the left side to bring up all of these icons. There's Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, as well as interior lighting, climate adjustments. You have a lot that you can quickly go through. If we go back to home now, you have all these split styles here. So you can click on any of these widgets that you'd like to, even add some as needed. It's very easy to go through all of that. There's also shortcuts to your music, phone, and navigation. So you can pull that up in full screen and go through all of that info. Now in the lower section, there's shortcuts to your climate adjustments where you can also get into the heated seats, and you have the temperature dials on both sides. All of that is fixed, so it's always going to be in place and readily available. Now there's some wood trim accents just underneath that, along with all the brushed aluminum with 2 air vents in the middle, power and volume for the radio, as well as tuning and some defrosters. And then opening up this lid, wireless charging is in the back. There's 2 auxiliaries and 2 cup holders. And then if you don't want to use the infotainment system as a touchscreen system, you do have shortcuts that are down below. So you can quickly get through all of this and even use the rotary dial to further go through all this information. So it's very helpful, very easy to use at the same time. And then over on this left side, there's traction control as well as a shortcut to the camera system, parking sensors, and the engine start stop feature. If we put this into reverse now, the backup camera will appear. And there's also shortcuts that you can use. You can get into the 360 view and then push on these. So that way you can see around the entire vehicle. There's also another top-down view. Now if I put this into drive and then push on that camera button, that is how you gain access to the forward-facing camera in full screen. If we go back one more time, it will swap over to S, allowing you to use these paddle shifters. And then park is just by pushing on the P on the back there. Now there's also a few different driving modes. So you can go into Sport, as well as Comfort, and then Eco Pro, depending on the throttle response that you would like. And then there's the auto hold and the e-brake. Now right in the middle, there's a little bit of space along with an auxiliary, and then plenty of space is located in the glove box there. And then up top, we have all the dome lights, as well as the automatic adjustments for both the sunshade and the sunroof itself. And then here's a look at visibility over the right shoulder, as well as over the left shoulder. So it's a small vehicle, but it's very open feeling. As we set off now behind the wheel for the 330i, this is always a cool, smaller size sedan to check out from BMW. Being the 3 Series, it is the smallest. I've seen some other comments on previous videos about a 1 Series, which we don't have in the USA, or at least not anymore. So we have the 3, the 5, and the 7 Series. If you're not looking for a larger vehicle like that, I still think this has a really good amount of space for the sizing that it has. You can also get some different options too. You can go up to the M Series, so if you want the M340, you can go with that 3 Series as well. If you're not looking for quite that much power though, we still have a little bit of power, and you get a little bit of exterior goodies with the M Sport package. But we have a good get up and go to this. And even coming around a right turn, brakes do a good job for the standard brakes. Handling seems very nice. So I love that about BMW. You don't have to get that top level, highly performance oriented version to have some of the handling characteristics. This isn't going to perform like those, of course, but it's something that gives you a little bit of kind of dipping your toes into some of that performance and handling, which is great to see for this. And even for this price point, it drives like any other BMW. Very comfortable and refined, which is something I also like. Doesn't matter how much money you spend on a BMW, they're all going to give you relatively same vibes with how they drive. So this is a great daily driving, smaller size sedan, something that's going to get a little bit better on MPG, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, and something you can still rip on a little bit on some back roads. And as far as the pricing goes for this 330i, I don't think it's all that expensive for what you are getting. You're getting into a luxury brand as a BMW, so it's nice that you can get into that for a relatively affordable price. When you compare this to some other vehicles, other brands, you have Lexus, of course, which is a luxury brand, even some Toyota sedans that are going to be a little bit less expensive than this. So just to jump up slightly, you can get into a BMW, which is very cool to see. BMW is also slightly owned by Toyota. They have a small stake in BMW, and BMWs are becoming a lot more reliable. I do own a BMW myself, and I bought one because not only are they fun to drive, but they are very reliable for the newer models. And with it in sport mode, second gear, here we go. And a mile acceleration, we're up to speed. Very impressive to see that. And like I said, we are in sport mode, so you can dial back down into eco if you'd like, and it still allows you to use these paddle shifters. However, with eco mode, it is going to limit your throttle response, but that was still pretty impressive. So it really just depends on how you're driving for the day. And the handling, again, for not being the M version, it handles very well for normal driving speeds on roads like this. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel. For the 330i, brakes do a great job as well slowing this down. But we have a nice interior. I really like the layout of everything for this particular model. And again, it's on the smaller size, but everything just fits well with this. Very easy to see all around, so you can easily place this. And I don't really have anything negative to say about it. Comment down below if you own a 3 Series BMW. Is there anything that you don't like about the vehicle? Obviously, if you own one, they are going to be very minor. Not every car is going to be perfect, so I'm sure there's something in here that is not going to be up to par, but it's going to be very, very minor. And I can't think of anything. Like I said, I own a BMW myself. I have an X5, so kind of similar to this. And I can't really pick anything apart with it. So if you're looking for kind of that entry-level BMW sedan, this is a great option to go with. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2024 BMW 330i. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this sedan for me today. Take a look at their website. That link is down in the description. And if you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.